Well, today I have a special treat. You could say a triple threat here, except they're all multi-talented, so what's 9? 9 times the threat. If I was this talented, I'd be better looking too. It's Michael Ballard, Resiliency for Life, and today I have 3 of the group from
Mindful MCs.
and they are going to share some information, a little bit about their journey, a little bit of what they do to stay healthy, safe, and productive, because they, like me, have gone through their own journey of what I call big stuff. So stay tuned. The interview starts any moment.
Hi there, my name is Jamie, and my MC name is Gladitude.
My name is Bryan, and my MC name is B Square.
My name is Meshach, and my MC name is Shael.
Together, we are the Mindful MCs.
Though we have 2 members who are away at the moment.
Shout out to ET and J.
E.T. and J. Small.
Representing for them.
Yeah. So today we're talking about our journey on resilience. Yeah. I personally am a photographer slash writer slash mindful MC member slash I've done many different stuff. I've worked in personal support worker, sales jobs, photography jobs, kitchen, and I think that, from there I build my own resilience, speaking about my mental health. And at first it started kind of as a journey of staying hidden and not speaking about anything. And when I became actually a member of the Mindful MCs, that's when I thought, okay, this is a gift and not a curse. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have had a life in the past where I've gone through a lot of challenges and struggles with mental health and addictions issues, and many times I have given up or wanted to give up, thought a lot about suicide, made plans for it, that sort of thing. But thankfully, I came to some really important realizations in my life, and I feel like really since the last 2.5 years I've been in this group, I've really seen the light and really had like real revelations in my life that have led to me making real changes. Like I'm not the same person that I used to be, and resiliency's been huge on my personal journey with the successes I've had in this last little while, and then also with our group, which we can talk a little bit about our group after Jamie speaks about resiliency, I guess.
Hi. So, just growing up, even being like a young child, teenager, and having bouts of depression and moments in my life where I wouldn't leave the house, I would be stuck in bed, I wouldn't be working, I wouldn't be seeing friends, just very much isolating myself, and realizing how dangerous that can be. Community and having support systems and structures in place around you really make a huge difference in your health. And I am a very social, I love to be around people, I love to talk to people, and so so just even being part of the Mindful MCs, and we are a community, and we're a growing community, and whenever we come together, we make music and we perform and we celebrate, but we also love each other and we care about each other, and we check in and say, hey, how are you doing? What's going on in your life right now? And so it's building this resilience individually, but also as a group, as a collective, and not just the Mindful MCs, but the collective, the community we have around us and the world around us. So you can see it in the world around you.
I guess going back on that thought that you were saying was, sometimes it's more than just, I guess, an individual just trying to get better by their own and on their own, but it's like the people that you surround yourself with that makes a big difference. I know for myself, when I would go through isolation in my depressions. I would mostly just want to be alone, but even though I love to be with people, it got to the point where I was like, okay, I don't like people. But was that really true? Not really. But I would kind of just say that to myself. You know, I love people. And even though I didn't believe it, it started to become true, too.
Yeah, in terms of how we all met, I feel like that relates to resilience. And by the way, should I look at the camera when I talk? Or okay, yeah, because we met through mental health organizations. Like we met at CAMH and the members that aren't here at an outpatient program. Then I met Bryan at CMHA, Canadian Mental Health Association. We were coming from backgrounds where we had been through a lot of trauma, a lot of struggles with our mental health, and I feel like all of us didn't even really talk about it too much, years ago at that time. And that as we've been in this group and we've grown together, we've become more open and more comfortable talking about these struggles that we've been. Like I know for myself, I was terrified about speaking about the mental health and addictions issues I'd gone through. I'd actually lie to friends and family because I'd experienced so much judgment, and the stigma is so real. So it took me a huge amount of time and courage to be like, yeah, I have bipolar disorder, struggle with alcohol addiction, marijuana addiction, and dealt with suicidal thoughts, all these things like severe anxiety, panic attacks. Like it took me a while just to be able to openly share that with people, but I found that people can relate because mental illness, it's pretty common, or if somebody's not struggling themselves, they have a family member or a friend who is, and it's really like inspiring and liberating for people. Like we've got a lot of positive feedback from speaking out.
Yeah, just something that really I believe is we are most healthy when we can be our authentic selves, when we can be ourselves. And so for many years, we're like kind of lying or hiding or feeling shame, feeling a lot of shame. I think that's where a lot of the depression in my life came from. And I feel like my parents' generation and like generations from the past were just, it was like, it characterized so much of their experience where they're just hiding things in, tucking things under the rug. We don't talk about it. It's a secret. It's silent. And like just more recently, people have been more and more comfortable to start talking about, homosexuality or mental health or, difference and uniqueness and human, like being human. This really great, wonderful experience that we're all having is this human experience. So I know from what myself, I love music and I love listening to music, and for a long time I wasn't listening to music and I wasn't creating music. And the organization where Meshach and I met, they had like coffee houses or talent shows where it was a place where you felt comfortable and you felt seen and you felt heard and you felt safe to be yourself. And we were, I know for myself, in a very vulnerable state at that time. And so for a group of us to come together and say, hey, let's like perform a song. Let's write a song and perform a song and see what happens. And to develop that courage and to get out of our own way and just do it has been unbelievable. And it's just kind of snowballed from there. And we've just continued doing this. It's been feeling very like serendipitous, the way that we've all come together and met. And we are totally on a journey together right now.
I think for myself personally too, like it takes a lot of courage to come out and actually speak about experiences and to be real. And I found for myself it's being open to myself and saying, okay, if I'm having a bad day, I don't have to hide it and say, you know what, I'm doing terrible, but I could just say it in a way that I could get my message across to the other person so they understand that I'm not having the best day. I think for myself, resilience, has included like a lot of my family, because now that I have opened up a lot about my mental health to them. I've actually become closer with my family because in the start, I couldn't speak to them about if I was having a depression day or a psychosis day, or they would just see, okay, are you having a tantrum? What's going on over here? And I guess coming from a Spanish culture, they kind of like push that aside. But really, it was just something I was experiencing. And now that my family and I've been able to open up with them and they understand me, I've actually had, this is like my family now than I've ever have been. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess I could speak a little bit about music because that's been really important for us. Like Jamie said, we started out doing talent shows at these coffee houses, and we just get such positive feedback. So we just start doing more and more of them, and we started gaining like a fan base in Cam H, and they got us our first paid gig. That was about a year ago, and since then, we've performed at festivals. We've performed at a bunch of Cam H events, community events, and really become like a legit like professional band. So it's pretty amazing because it's something that like I always dreamed about when I was younger, but my mental health and addictions issues were just too bad for me to ever actually complete things and manifest things. So it was just a dream. It wasn't, there was like no substance to it. So it feels really amazing that it's like, wow, we actually have a song on iTunes and Spotify and everything out there. And we're actually like doing paid gigs in front of like pretty big audiences. And like we just got a gig in September there's gonna be like over 600 people in the audience. It almost feels like a dream. It's like, whoa, is this really happening? It's like when you think about the struggles that we've been through, but music has been really like healing for us and has been like a source of unity for our group. And I think like what's really cool about our group's approach to music, well, at least for myself, is like we didn't try and model ourselves after any other artist. We just did what made sense to us and just sounded good to it. And like when I started with Mindful MCs, I didn't even really listen to that much hip hop. I listen to a lot now, so I think like that has really given us our own sound. A lot of people have commented like, yo, you guys have like a really unique sound to your music. And I think it's because like we're just doing things the way that makes sense to us, and we're not trying to copy other groups out there. And I think that helps us to stand out.
I think it's also like an autobiography of our life, like as we're doing these performances too. Like, I love going to each performance with, like, as a group, and we're always like, okay, let's get hype. Mindful MCs.
Yeah, I was talking to MC E.T. about this recently, and we were saying how it's a family. Like, it feels like family tradition to come together. Like, before shows, we'll do, like, improv games or different games just to get us, like, get the energy going and get us on the same page, and laughing and just like joy, like feeling joy. That's so important, to allow yourself to feel joy, because you deserve that. We all do. I want to say, like for myself, I had wished that I had been connected to a place, this like outpatient program, or a community where you come together and you express through like the place we're describing. It was music, but it was also a writing group, it was art group, it was cooking, it was like peer support, it was going for walks. Like I went through this series of being hospitalized, and often was not a positive experience for me. Like I felt even shame within the hospital, like the medical system as well. And there's been a lot of positive for sure, but there has been some experiences where I feel like if I had just been connected with an art community, or a community where people are coming together and, you know, they're showing each other kindness and love, and you're in a space where you feel safe to just be yourself, and to express, then that would have made a huge difference for me. That would have made a huge difference.
I think art spaces are super healing. Like Workman Arts, for sure. Workman Arts is super. They've helped out to connect us with a lot of things. It's pretty much Workman Arts is a art-related place, outpatient group where you can be part of a team and a family, and you get performances and paintings or anything art-related, really. Yeah, photography, video, anything. It's
They
actually
teach you for free. It's
yeah,
pretty
they teach
sweet.
you for free. It's amazing, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, so if I could tell my former self who was struggling and scared to talk about mental illness, one thing, it would just be the very simple message that life is short, extremely short, and that tomorrow is not a guarantee. Tomorrow is not a promise. You might only have today. So, like, really deeply realizing that and feeling that, because when you really understand that and you really feel that, you'll change your life. Because if you really think I might not have tomorrow, you'll call that person that you haven't been calling and tell them that you love them. Like, you'll record that song that you've been putting off. So it just really would be like living in the moment and just being grateful for what you have right now, because everything else is just hypothetical. You don't know that it's for sure. And then if you have that realization too, you know, you'll work on your mental health. You'll push yourself to go to your house and go to those places that give you anxiety or speak to those people. So I think it'd really be like just getting that realization down.
If I could tell my past self something that I guess I now know and I'm working on is I think regret. It's easy to, if you're in a negative state of mind where you can easily get regret and just build off your regret, you can. So I'm going to start that over again. Okay. So.
Only electrons were disturbed. Too late for me.
So I'm going to talk about regret. I think that regret is a big one because in the past, my past self, I would tell them that if it's easy to build regrets off something negative, and you could think very, very negative. But now if you think positive, you could think of these regrets as a learning and a stepping stone to move forward. So I know for myself, if you think very, very negatively, and you think if you have 10 things that happen bad in your day, and then you only had one thing that was very positive, which is like buying an ice cream, and you think that one ice cream was the best thing out of the whole day, you know, I think that just makes all the difference, is thinking positive.
Something that I would tell my former self, there are a few words that come to mind, one being forgiveness, forgiving those around me and forgiving myself, like letting certain things go and having self-compassion. Another huge part of my life is play. Play, enjoy, dance, sing, run around like a lunatic, jump in the lake, whatever it is, like just live ecstatically, live joyously. It's so important to play. Yeah, so that would be something I would say.
Well, that was an interview. Thank you, and thank you. And they're saying thank you too, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mindful MCs, thank you. And I want another one of these in a while with at least a fourth one of you here.
Yeah.
So-
Check us out on social media.
And I heard a rumor they're on iTunes. So I'll be going there. Look across the bottom. Look in the text below. It'll be there. Thanks. Thank you. Vital work. Thank you. Thank you. So till next time, Michael Ballard, Resiliency for Life. Imagine yourself with more resiliency for life.